Hello, welcome. My name's Gaynor from FitFish, and I'm going to be talking in this video about making the most of your muscles. Now, it might surprise you to know that the current recommendations are that all adults, especially those over the age of 55, do 3 strength training sessions per week. Now, I think that probably would surprise most people. I certainly don't feel that that message is necessarily coming across. And I actually think the opposite. As people get older, they seem to steer away from any kind of muscle work for fear of any kind of strains or breaks, or think that injuries or illnesses or anything should prevent them from doing it. But actually, it's encouraged because it's so good for you in many, many ways. Muscle work is good for you because it protects you from falls and trips and breakages in the future. So the stronger you are, and particularly the stronger your core is, the less likely you are to fall over, and the less likely you are to break something when you fall over. If you fall over and you have a weak core, then the impact is mainly going to go through your limbs, so through your arms when you fall, and that's why wrist and arm breakages are the most common in the elderly. But if you have a stronger core, then often you will pull yourself back up without falling. But if you did fall, then your core would also be able to take some of the impact. So it's really important to help prevent trips and falls and breaks. It's brilliant for posture. So if you imagine you had no muscle tone whatsoever, then you'd be very saggy and look a little bit like a jellyfish. If you did lots of muscle work, then you'd look a bit like the Incredible Hulk. And what we really want is that muscle tone in the middle that holds us well and keeps our posture well, which again means that we'll have less problems with different things and muscles and ligaments being out of sync and out of place. Also, as you build more muscle, you increase the number of insulin receptors in your body. So if you have something like diabetes or polycystic ovary syndrome or insulin resistance, this can be really, really helpful to make sure that your body works with insulin a little bit better than it does at the moment. Having more muscle mass increases your basal metabolic rate, so it changes your body composition and means that you burn fat more efficiently. So often as people age, they feel that they put on weight more easily. The reality is that their body composition has changed and they're not burning fuel and fat as effectively. So it can really help with that. It's practical, it's functional. So in some of my classes, we do an exercise called Lidone Getups. Now, brilliant to make sure that you can continue lying down and getting up. And also things like squats. It means that you can sit down and get up for longer and easier. So muscle exercises can increase your functionality and make sure that you're able to do practical tasks. It also increases your stamina. So the more muscle mass you're carrying around, the stronger you get, and that increases your stamina. But it also means that you can endure for longer. Your muscles will fatigue less easily, so you're able to keep going for longer and feel less tired when you do normal activities, but also when you're doing exercise and things like that. Working on your muscles also increases your flexibility, which means that, again, less likely to have breaks and falls and more able to continue doing normal tasks for longer in life. Also improves your bone density. If your muscle mass has increased, then your bones get stronger because it's like carrying around extra weight all the time, and that can be really useful if you're in the early stages of osteoporosis or you have osteopenia. Or if you don't, to prevent it, then carrying around extra muscle is good for your bones. Your bones will then start building more bone, basically, and get stronger. And of course, there's emotional benefits to any kind of exercise, including weight-bearing work, and can make you feel better. And also there's benefits to your appearance, which is something we don't keep as our main aim, but it is something that is obviously a great little side effect. I actually did an experiment a couple of years ago now. I saw an article in a magazine where 3 women had done a 12-week weight exercise program, and their body shapes had really changed and just kind of really toned up, but they gained just a lot more tone and looked a lot healthier. And I had hurt my foot, I couldn't run, I couldn't walk, and I decided to do a bit of experiment and just do muscle work for 12 weeks and see what happened. And actually I noticed a real change in my body shape, and I felt a lot better for it, and it gave me that little bit of a buffer. Actually, it meant I didn't put on weight quite as easily because I had more muscle mass. So I've experienced it. I know it works. I know it makes you feel better, makes you feel stronger, but it's recommended for so many of those reasons above. And it's really important because from the age of 30, we lose 50% of our muscle mass. So if you don't do anything, any muscle work at all, it's not a case of just maintaining your muscles as they are at the moment. They'll gradually decline and gradually disappear. It's a bit like brushing your teeth. If you ignore your teeth, they'll go away. If you ignore your muscles, they will go away. So what can you do? Mostly the barriers to exercise in this way with strength and resistance work is that people just don't know what to do. I'm a big fan of keeping it simple. You don't need to go to a gym, you don't need to lift weights, you don't even need to have a resistance band or anything like that. You can just use your own body weight, and I believe you can get it all covered with 3 simple exercises: a push-up, a squat, and what we call a Russian deadlift or a hamstring stretch. So I'm going to show you those now to give you the idea of what to do. Now, it's good to work to a point where you feel like you can't do many more, because that's when your muscles will start to grow. With a push-up, you can do it on the floor, but why bother? You might as well start on the wall, and you can do it on the wall whether you're quite fit or whether you're relatively unfit and unexperienced in this area. So I'll show you what to do with that. So I'll have to share it a bit so you can hear me. Okay, so I'm just going to switch so I can see and make sure I'm in right position. Just put it on a different screen temporarily for me, not for you, nothing changes. Okay, so a push-up. So you find the wall, hands flat on the wall about shoulder height, and then you take your feet away from the wall, straight body, so bottom is not up or to the side or anything like that, a nice straight body, and then you bend in, push out. Bend in, push out. And to make it easier, you could have your hands really close, your feet really close, like this. Okay, so you find your level, or step right out, like this. Okay, I purposely wore normal clothes to show you that you don't even have to get into your exercise kit. You can just do it in normal clothes, like that. Ideally, you go for 3 sets of 12 and make it to the point that as you get towards your 12, you're thinking, oh, can I stop now? Can I stop now? Something you can easily do in an advert break or while the kettle's boiling, something like that. Okay, next a wall squat. So you simply sit down. You're aiming for a right angle as if you're sitting on an invisible chair. Push through the heels and hold for as long as you can, then come up and do it 3 times. Okay, so that's a wall squat, and next we'll do a deadlift. So straight legs, and you just bow, but you pick a point straight ahead of you and bow forward. Okay, so straight legs, bowing forward. To make that one harder, if that's too easy and you feel like at the end of 3 sets of 12 you're not really feeling anything, then you can hold a weight to your chest, or you can do 1 leg at a time. Okay, so those are my 3 recommended exercises for you to work all of the muscles in your body. So a push-up works your arms, it works your back, it works your core, it works your chest, it actually works your bottom, and it works your legs a little bit. But then we've added in the squat and the hamstrings to just make sure the legs are completely covered off. But that will do you. If you do that 3 times a week and do 3 sets of 12, and you're feeling like it's pretty hard towards the end, you can probably get that done in 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whilst listening to something, whilst watching television. You will notice it will make a difference, and it will make a difference to your health for all of those reasons that I've said above. Let me know if you've got any questions. Do come and join us. If you think I just can't motivate myself to do it myself, then come and join us in our online exercise classes, and I'll post a link for that below. Okay, take care. Let me know what you think and if you're going to try it, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.